Most people will die poor, not because they didn't work hard, not because they didn't save, but because they never understood the game being played against them. You were handed a rule book at 18, go to school, get a job, save 10%, invest in a 401k, wait 40 years, retire. What nobody told you is that rule book was written by the people who profit from your labor. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a system, a financial matrix built over centuries, refined by the wealthiest families on earth, and optimized for one outcome. You stay poor, they stay rich. And in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to rip that system apart, 7 mechanisms, 7 traps, and 7 ways to escape. Because once you see the matrix, you can never unsee it. Most people believe saving money makes them responsible. It's the biggest lie in modern finance. Here's what actually happens. You work 50 hours a week. You put 10% of your paycheck into a savings account. The bank pays you 0.3% interest. Meanwhile, the government is printing money at a rate that devalues your dollars by 3 to 5% every single year. The money sitting in your bank account is a melting ice cube. Every year you leave it there, it buys less groceries, less housing, less freedom. Since 1971, the year Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, the US dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. That is not inflation. That is a silent wealth transfer from savers to spenders, from workers to asset owners, from you to them. The rich don't save cash, they own assets, real estate, businesses, commodities, things that rise with inflation, not against it. Your bank account is not a fortress, it's a leak you can't see. The escape? Own assets that inflate faster than the currency. Every dollar you earn should become a worker for you, generating its own income day and night without you lifting a finger. That's the first law of wealth. Section 2. The tax system. Most Americans believe we have a progressive tax system. The more you earn, the higher your rate. That's what's written on paper. But what actually happens is the opposite. The IRS reports that the top 1% of earners pay an effective tax rate that is often lower than a middle-class family making $80,000 a year. How? Because the tax code doesn't tax wealth. It taxes income. If you earn wages, you're taxed before the money even hits your account. Payroll tax, income tax, state tax, local tax. By the time your paycheck clears, the government has already taken their cut. But if you own assets, stocks, real estate, a business, the rules change completely. You can borrow against your assets tax-free. You can depreciate real estate and wipe out taxable income. You can defer capital gains indefinitely. And when you die, your heirs get a stepped-up basis that erases millions in tax liability. The wealthy don't dodge taxes. They use the tax code exactly as it was designed by wealthy people for wealthy people to make sure wages are punished and ownership is rewarded. The escape: stop being an employee in the tax system, start a business, own property, build a structure where your money works before the government touches it. The tax code is a menu, and most people are ordering the most expensive item because nobody handed them the real menu. Section 3, the debt trap. Debt has been rebranded as normal. Student loans for education, auto loans for transportation, mortgages for shelter, credit cards for everyday purchases. The average American household now carries over $100,000 in total debt, and they're told this is just the cost of living. Here's what they don't tell you. Debt is the tool of the system. It tethers you to the desk. It turns your future labor into someone else's current profit. When you sign a 30-year mortgage, you're not just buying a house. You're promising 30 years of your working life to a bank. On a $300,000 mortgage at 6.5%, you'll pay over $380,000 in interest alone. The bank gets your house for free, and you pay them for the privilege. Student loans are worse. You can't discharge them in bankruptcy. They follow you across jobs, across states, across decades. They are the closest thing to indentured servitude that exists in modern America. And yet, the financial system celebrates your debt. It calls you a good borrower, a responsible citizen. It raises your credit score while it drains your future. The wealthy use debt differently. They use it to acquire assets that produce more income than the debt costs. That's the difference. Bad debt buys liabilities, good debt buys cash flow. The escape: kill bad debt first, then learn to use leverage the way the rich do, not to buy things, but to buy income producing assets. Debt is a weapon. Most people use it against themselves. Section 4: the education industrial complex. A college degree used to be a ticket to the middle class. Today, it's often a ticket to decades of debt and a job that doesn't cover the payments. Student loan debt in America now exceeds $1.7 trillion. That's larger than the GDP of most countries on earth, and the average graduate takes over 20 years to pay it off. Meanwhile, what did you actually learn? Did anyone teach you how money works, compound interest, tax strategy, asset allocation, how to read a balance sheet? No, you learned algebra you never use, history from a textbook, literature you've forgotten, and you paid tens of thousands of dollars for the privilege. This is not an accident. A financially literate population is harder to control, harder to exploit, harder to keep working jobs they hate for wages that don't grow. The school system was designed during the Industrial Revolution to produce factory workers who could follow instructions, show up on time, and not ask too many questions, not entrepreneurs, not investors, not free thinkers. And here we are, 200 years later, with the same model, same result. The escape: financial education is your responsibility. No one is coming to teach you. Read one book a month on money, investing, and business. Within 2 years, you'll know more than 95% of the population. The wealthy don't wait for permission to learn. Neither should you. Section 5: the lifestyle trap. There's a silent tax most people pay their entire lives without knowing it. It's called lifestyle creep. You get a raise, you celebrate, you upgrade your apartment, you lease a nicer car, you start eating out more, your expenses rise to match your income, and a year later you're just as broke as before, just at a higher level. The system is designed for this. Every advertisement you see, every influencer you follow, every upgrade you're offered, they're all telling you the same thing: spend more, because a consumer who spends everything they earn is a perfect economic engine. They work, they spend, they go back to work. The cycle never breaks. They never accumulate enough capital to escape. The wealthy understand something most people don't. Income is not wealth. A doctor making 400,000 a year who spends 390,000 is functionally poorer than a plumber making 80,000 who saves 40. Wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is what you keep. And more importantly, wealth is what your money earns while you sleep. The escape: build your life around a number. Spend less than you earn, not 10% less, 20, 30% less. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is your freedom fund. The bigger the gap, the faster your escape. Section 6: the investment trap. Wall Street has spent billions convincing you that investing is complicated, that you need a financial advisor, that the average person can't possibly manage their own money. This is a lie designed to collect fees. The average actively managed mutual fund charges 1 to 2% in annual fees. Over 30 years, those fees consume 40 to 60% of your returns, compounded, gone. And here's the part that should make you furious. Over 90% of active fund managers fail to beat the S&P 500 over a 15-year period. You're paying someone to lose to an index. Meanwhile, the wealthy take a different approach. They buy broad, low-cost index funds. They hold them for decades. They let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Einstein didn't actually say that, but he should have. $100,000 invested at an average annual return of 8% becomes over $1 million in 30 years, not because of stock picking genius, because of time. The system wants you trading, wants you chasing, wants you paying fees, because every dollar you pay in fees is a dollar that isn't compounding for you, it's compounding for them. The escape: buy low cost index funds, hold them, add to them every month, ignore the noise. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. The simplest strategy is the one Wall Street hopes you never discover. Section 7: the final system and the most insidious of all. Every system I've described: inflation, taxes, debt, education, lifestyle, investment, they're all external. They exist outside of you. But the seventh trap is internal. It lives between your ears: fear, scarcity, the belief that you're not smart enough, not disciplined enough, not worthy of wealth, that money is evil, that rich people are bad, that financial freedom is for someone else. Fear is the most expensive emotion you own. It keeps you in a job you hate. It keeps your money in a savings account earning nothing. It stops you from starting the business, from making the investment, from taking the risk that could change everything. The system doesn't need to control you by force if it can control you with fear. A population that's afraid of losing money is a population that will never accumulate it. A population that believes wealth is immoral is a population that will never build it. The wealthy don't have this programming. They were raised to see money as a tool, not good, not evil, just a lever that amplifies whatever you point it at. Point it at fear and it amplifies fear. Point it at freedom and it amplifies freedom. The escape: reprogram. Read books that challenge your money beliefs. Surround yourself with people who build, not people who complain. The mind is the only asset that appreciates forever, but only if you invest in it. Most people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than planning their financial future. That's not a knowledge gap, that's a priority gap. Discipline isn't a chore, it's a strategy. Now we strip away the theory: 7 systems, 7 traps, 7 escapes. Inflation erodes your savings. Own assets instead. The tax code punishes workers. Become an owner. Debt chains you to a desk. Use leverage for assets, not consumption. Schools teach obedience, not wealth. Educate yourself. Lifestyle creep keeps you running in place. Maximize the gap between earning and spending. Wall Street collects fees while you collect scraps. Buy the index and wait. And the final prison, the one in your mind, is the only one with no warden. You hold the key. The choice is yours to make. You can stay in the matrix, keep working, keep saving, keep hoping that 40 years from now there's something left. Most people do. Most people quit too early, abandoning their foundation just before growth explodes. Or you can see the game, learn the rules, and play to win, master money, build wealth, think different. Your empire starts today. Your future self is counting on your decision. Subscribe to Elite Finance. Your journey to wealth begins with the first dollar. Build your legacy now.